And so like I find myself watching those crime shows, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can relate to this. I find myself understanding some of them a little bit better, not agreeing with what they did, not
Right.
saying that any of the crimes they committed were good, but understanding. But if I just block that off, like criminals are bad, I would just have a super bad hate for anyone who's ever done anything bad, instead of trying to figure out why they did it, how they did it, what's right, what's wrong. And so I find myself taking that same, because of those shows and stuff, approach with people. So if I don't get along with someone, I try to figure it out. Like I don't go like fuck that guy or fuck that girl, she's bad. I go, well, what is it? Maybe there's something good in there. And so I have several friends. I have a few specific ones. Ones I'm thinking of right now, not you, don't worry. That is a really good friend, but doesn't always do the right things. And I'm trying to figure out like what is it about this person that doesn't make me feel good about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm at the point where I'm like, well, when do you draw the line, right? Because everyone has good and bad. Like how much good outweighs, is it 60, is it 60-40, is it 70-30?
Right.
How much good until like you're in, right? How much good has to go away before you're just out, kind of thing. And I don't think I have one. I think that I know people that are maybe 80% bad and 20% good, and I still just really enjoy that
around.
20%. Yeah. And that could be a good or a bad thing, right? But for whatever reason, I see the best in people, and I think that people that have done bad things, maybe that haven't even tried to change yet, I can't help but like look at them and find some strengths and just be like, man, I really admire this. I don't think I'd be your friend if you had nothing. Like I don't think
That's a good quality to have, but you gotta realize when people are toxic too.
Yes, which means couldn't you just keep that person at a distance then? Like if I know someone used to rob houses, and maybe I don't bring them to my house, but maybe they're a really good friend, and they're, when I go out, they ask me questions about me, and I like someone that's engaged in a conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I mean? So maybe I use them for those parts, and
You're
I hate
not
using the word
all
use.
in.
Yeah, but maybe I just
But
know
you keep 'em
boundaries,
around.
and I'm like, I don't want to bring you around the stuff that you could steal because you obviously have a habit of stealing. And so I feel like I have a hard time drawing a line, which could be a bad thing, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's how people get robbed or hurt.
Yeah, you make yourself vulnerable.
Yeah, and so I struggle with that. I don't know where the line is. I think that I just kind of like I sometimes, when people do bad things over and over, hurtful things, or don't have my best interest, I still kind of keep them around. And I know that that's not always the healthiest thing, but it's part of my blood.
Well, that's what makes you you, though. It's what makes you unique. It's what makes you an interesting person.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're able to see the good in everybody is really a very good quality to have.
Yeah, I think I get that from self-reflection because I know about the bad stuff that is in my past.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that if people knew me, truly me, that they would understand some of those things. And that's why I talk about almost all those things on here. Because I want people to understand, like, we all have good and bad stuff, but I don't want to just talk about the or the good stuff. I want you to know that I have some bad stuff too, because it's yin and yang, right? There's some things that I've done that I learned from. No one's just a good person. Even the dude at your church that tells the pastor, like, who's done some shit. Tell me Catholic priests haven't messed up a few times in their history.
Yeah.
So we all have this societal thing where it's like you're good or you're bad, and I just don't think it's that simple. I think we're all missing out on opportunities here.
Yeah. I think that's similar to how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to how I feel, especially when it comes to like back to the murderer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't judge people. I don't judge the whole person based on one act or a handful of acts in some people's cases, you know?
Yeah.
And most people do, and maybe I should a little more than I do. But I'm watching this stuff and I'm just like I could see at some point how you could get to that point, you know? Like in different situations with all the different backgrounds and all the stuff that's happened to this person.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't surprise me that they did what they did in some cases.
Yeah, very rarely. Even the ones that are like, it is kind of surprising. There's usually some mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, not me or you. I'm just saying, but like people in general, like it's just bad. Like, and so it's hard to really break down like why someone did stuff. But I think we should. But it's super easy just to close someone off on a thing. You know what I mean? Like
send them to prison, lock them up, and.
Have you ever seen a Denzel Washington movie where his son needs a heart?
Yes.
I don't know. Dude, what was the name of it?
Nope.
All right, while you're thinking of it, wasn't that just an awesome movie? And when people see it, they all, like, obviously Denzel didn't do that. He's playing a part of it, but that was based off a true story. And so it's like, everyone's like, that dad did anything for his kid. Like, but like, think about what he did wrong, right? Which is why he went to jail. People forget that guy went to jail
Mm-hmm.
because he held a hospital hostage, which means people that were sick didn't get in there. What's not in the movie is someone who got shot and needed to go to that hospital, couldn't go to that hospital. Maybe needed to go to a different hospital. Maybe didn't make it, right?
Right.
Maybe they did. Maybe none of that happened. But the point is, he broke a law. But like, it's weird how in movies like that, when you relate to the character and you relate to the moral, because the whole point of it is my son's dying, I need a heart for him. It's easy to be like, oh, I do that for my kid. But let's say that's not a movie, and all you see is the headline: "Man holds hostage hospital." Hostage hospital.
I was just gonna let you
He
run with
holds
that.
the hospital hostage. And everyone be like, oh, that guy's an asshole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then they post a picture of a black guy, and all the racist people are like, fucking see? Like, all these negative things would happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in a movie like that, you get to really break down what it is. So why not have that be our regular lives? Pretending your life is a movie, and if it's not, then figure it out. Before you go off judging stuff and what people are and what they've done, try to figure some things out, and maybe you'll get to the same conclusion, which is they're whatever they are. But maybe you learn a little bit more. The other thing I hate while we're on the subject, it's similar, is the overly labeling of people. And what I mean by, I think if someone's already something, it's easy to keep labeling them as stuff. And I've run into this a lot with other people. I'm struggling to find a story I'm comfortable telling, but I'll give you an example. Two girls that are really good friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the girls is maybe not in the best relationship. Maybe the guy's not that good. He's angry. Maybe he's not a good parent. Maybe they have a kid together, right?
Okay.
He's not a good parent. He gets angry. And he is maybe misogynistic. He puts her down. He thinks he's the king of the. He's just not a good person, right? And they're friends. And so that person comes and tells me all this stuff that I also know. They're like, oh, he's an asshole. I know this stuff. Yeah, and he's a cheater, and he's a scumbag. Like, calling him other things, right? Like, he's a fucking like he's a I don't know, because I keep thinking of an actual story. Yes, and then it's like, all right, I don't want to defend this guy, but let's call him what he is. We know factually what he is because we've seen him be an asshole. So call him an asshole. He's already an asshole. He's already rude. He's already misogynistic. He's already a bad partner, probably a bad dad. Call him those things that we know he is. But where's this whole like cheater, scumbag, like all these things that you don't know? Like, in this scenario, I'm thinking of, I asked this person, like, well, who did he cheat with? I don't know. Like, I'm sure.
Probably did.
I'm sure. Yes. And I'm like, well, we already know he's this thing. Why do you want to just add labels? And trust me, I don't want to be the person like defending someone that's doing that, right?
But why are you bringing him down even further when he's already?
Yes, he's already enough bad things. Can we just call him what he is? Can we at least be factual about this? Or we're going to get so crazy that we call him all these other things? That's just one scenario. You can take that with anything. But we're so quick to label people all these things. It's like, well, what do we know? What do we know factually? And let's stick to those. Because he's already a bad person, right? We know that. So let's just stick to what we know. And I think it comes to the part where people like feel empowered and they just kind of say things they don't really mean.
It makes them feel better because they're in a shitty situation.
And they know the person's going to agree with them because we can all see this is not a nice guy.
Yeah.
So if you told me this guy killed someone, like, or he's a rapist, maybe let's use that one. He's a rapist. I'm tending to believe you because we've already established he's not a good guy. And so it's like, but who did he? You don't know anyone? No one even accused him? You just threw that word out there because he's an asshole? Like, if we have facts and we know he's that, let's add that to the mix. But for now, can't we already just agree he's not a nice guy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, whatever it is. And so I hate that, but I have a hard time talking about it because then it just seems like, are you defending this guy? Are you defending this asshole right now? No. But can he just be what we know he is? So that's my thing. I think it's important to figure things out, ask questions, learn, and then call them what they are and not what you think they might be. I think that's fair.
I can get behind that.
Right. Let's write that on a tablet or something.
Okay.
Set our own church.
We can make like a big old sign and put it in 2 of them. One in my house, one in your house.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyways. I feel like
What
I
are you
did
doing?
it all. That song was in my head.
I know there's something else that's on your mind.
What's on my mind?
I don't know.
I have tons of things on my mind. We could just talk about whatever. What's on your mind? I feel like you're struggling talking about random stuff.
It's because I felt like I went on a couple little tangents that didn't make no sense.
I feel like you made total sense.
Yeah.
I feel like, do you feel like I'm getting better at letting things go? Like,
yeah.
Like letting, like, because I'm trying to get a balance of like when to speak and when not to speak.
Yeah, you're getting a little better because last time, yeah, there you go. You stopped. Because
Like,
last time
shut
it
your
was
mouth, bro.
very like when can I find a
Guiding.
word in edgewise, and you were very like I expected for when as soon as the conversation had a little like lull,
Hmm.
you were immediately ready with something else.
I feel like that's a good thing, but there's a balance of it, and so that's where I'm like on this one. Like, I don't want there to be any weird moments, but at the same time, I don't want to overly talk. But I feel like we're both doing a good job of that. I think. What do you think?
I feel a little weird.
You do?
Yeah,
All right, let's throw something around. Do you watch? Have you watched any cool Netflix shows or shows in general? I know you don't just have Netflix.
that's mostly what I have.
Did you
I
finish
mean,
The Pharmacist?
no,
What?
I never did.
You should,
I know you told me that.
because we could totally talk about it right now had you finished it. But it's totally worth not talking about because I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I I've been watching a lot of those murder tapes. You know?
which ones do you watch?
It's literally called The Murder
It's on
Tapes.
Netflix,
No, this one's on DirecTV.
and is it just people who murder people?
Yeah, it's literally like you see the actual video from the cops' lapel when they get there. You see like they interview family members.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you from start to finish, like from the moment that they got the 911 call all the way until they find the guy and like how they got him. It's kind of like the first 48, but
Mm-hmm.
more
Do they always catch the guy?
realistic.
Is there ever episodes where they get away with it?
No, I think they've always caught him so far.
Yeah. There's a show called I Almost Got Away with It. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
I love that one because sometimes they do get away, which is weird that it's on that show. Or they get away for like 30 years and catch them. I'm like, that's getting away with it.
Yeah. You had a whole life in between it. Yeah.
But I remember watching those shows, and that one specifically was like, there was some where it was like back in the day, and so they talked about how they stole like dead people's identities and stuff. And obviously technology wasn't that great, so it was like easy to get away with it. But I saw one guy that he got away with it for like 30 years. He never even left the U.S. That's just how they weren't tracking
I
him.
feel like that sounds familiar.
And he started working at a video store, and like he just bought a business under his new identity, and he lived a whole life. He had a whole new family, and I forgot who he killed, because there's so many.
It's not even a big deal anymore.
Yeah, it was like a
30
family
years later
or something.
like,
But
oh.
like he had a whole family and friends, and like when they busted him, like 30 some years later, I forgot how they busted him. The people were like, "Dude, I never would have guessed. That guy was so cool. He owned a local video store."
It
Like,
goes to show that like people really like there are situations that happen
mhm.
that cause someone to do something like that that would never happen again.
Yeah, very
You know
true.
what I mean?
Maybe sometimes it does happen again, but you're
Sure.
right. There's a lot of times where it doesn't. Have you ever